You ever have one of those mornings where you walk into the shop, look at a project you finished last night, and realize you were basically working in a fugue state? I looked at this walnut cabinet door this morning and realized I'd installed the hinges on the side that's supposed to be the top.
Please tell me you didn't already drill the recesses for the cups.
Oh, they're there. Deep, permanent, and mocking me. It's now a very expensive piece of firewood or a very confusing modern art piece. But that's the life, right? We're all just one distracted measurement away from a disaster. Welcome to the TigerDen Daily for August 25th. We're talking 3D printing revolutions, staying alive on the job site, and how to actually make a buck without losing your soul.
And hopefully, how to not put hinges on the top of a door. But seriously, we have a lot to get through. I want to start with this Elegoo thing. You've been hovering over your 3D printer like a protective mother hen lately. What is the $55 canvas kit, and why is the internet losing its mind?
It's essentially a brain transplant for the Centauri. For 55 bucks, you're getting a 4-filament input system. Back in the day, and I'm talking like 3 years ago, multicolor printing was the hobbyist Everest. You had to be part software engineer, part wizard to get it to work without the whole thing turning into a plastic bird's nest.
$55 feels suspiciously cheap, like this might melt my house down cheap.
That was my first thought too. But it's got tangle detection and smart refills. It's opening the door for the DIY mastery crowd to do industrial level stuff. But here's the kicker. People are jumping into multi-material printing without respecting the plastic. I saw a guy try to print PETG directly onto a bare glass bed last week.
I'm guessing he doesn't have a glass bed anymore?
It sounded like a gunshot. PETG doesn't just sit on glass. It falls in love with it. It bonds at a molecular level. When the print cools and contracts, it just takes a silver dollar-sized chunk of the glass right out with it.
So for the folks listening who don't want to buy a new printer bed every Tuesday, what's the fix?
It sounds wrong, but you use a glue stick or hairspray. Not to make it stick, but to act as a restraining order between the plastic and the glass. It's a release agent. And watch your pet. Not PETG, but the straight stuff. It's like a sponge. If you leave it out in a humid shop for 4 hours, it'll drink enough water to make your print look like Swiss cheese.
Moving from the basement shop to the job site. We've been seeing a lot of news about the NECA safety professionals. You're always harping on safety, but usually it's about you not losing a finger to the table saw. This is a bit bigger, isn't it?
It's the difference between a job and a career. We're seeing guys like Chandler and this new class of graduates who are proving that being an electrician in 2026 isn't just about being a human wire puller. They're risk managers.
Does a safety certification actually move the needle on a paycheck, though? Or is it just more paperwork to carry around?
In this economy, it's the golden ticket. If you're the guy on site who actually understands the National Electrical Code changes and how to integrate low voltage systems without blowing the grid, you aren't replaceable. Safety isn't just about wearing your goggles. It's about being the most informed person in the room. If you're in the trades and you aren't looking at OSHA 30 or specialized certs, you're essentially leaving a pile of money on the table and hoping no one steals it.
Speaking of piles of money, let's talk about the maker mogul side of things. I see so many people selling these incredible hand-carved bowls or intricate jewelry for like $20. And I'm doing the math in my head thinking, you just paid yourself 3 cents an hour.
It breaks my heart, Alex. It really does. People suffer from hobbyist guilt. They feel bad charging what a piece is actually worth because they enjoyed making it. But if you want to move into that mogul status, you have to kill the hobbyist mindset.
So what's the magic formula for 2026? Because I think this looks like a $40 item isn't a business plan.
No, that's a fast track to bankruptcy. You have to be cold-blooded about it. Take your materials, your labor, and don't you dare value your time at minimum wage. Add your shipping and those pesky platform fees, that's your base. Then use a margin-based formula.
Break it down for the mathiverse among us.
Take your total cost and divide it by 1 minus your target margin. If you want a 50% margin, you divide by 0.5. If your cost is $20, your sale price is $40. It sounds simple, but I see people just adding $5 to the cost of the wood and calling it a day. That's not a business. That's a charity that results in sawdust. Right now, DIY craft kits and handmade jewelry are killing it because the startup costs are low, but the perceived value is huge.
Okay, so we've got the business side sorted. Let's get into the DIY mastery projects for the weekend. I saw you looking at backyard retreats. Are we talking about a shed with a lawn chair or something more?
We're talking high end, the kind of place where you can hide from your family and pretend you're at a resort. But here's where most DIYers catch a massive headache. They start with the pretty stuff. They're picking out cedar siding while their foundation is sinking into the mud.
You're speaking from experience, aren't you? The 2019 Leaning Tower of Tiger?
We don't talk about the potting shed of 2019. The earth reclaimed it. But seriously, drainage and foundation. If you don't get the water away from the structure, you're just building a very expensive ROT experiment. And for the love of all that is holy, check your zoning laws. I know it's about as exciting as watching paint dry, but having the city tell you to tear down a $10,000 deck because it's 3 feet too close to the property line is a soul-crushing experience.
What about the smaller stuff? I saw Rick Dior's name pop up regarding custom drumsticks. That seems incredibly niche.
It is, but it's a masterclass in precision. Woodworking isn't always about big furniture. Making a perfectly balanced pair of drumsticks requires a level of grain selection and weight matching that would make most cabinet makers sweat. It's a great entry point for someone who wants to try instrument mods. You can even take a standard drum and convert it into a custom floor tom. It's about taking something off the shelf and giving it a soul.
It feels like the theme today is really about the hidden work. The release agent on the 3D printer, the safety certs in the trades, the margin formulas in business, and the drainage under the deck.
That's exactly it. The finished product is just the tip of the iceberg. Everything that makes a project successful is usually the stuff nobody sees once it's done. It's the boring stuff that makes the exciting stuff possible.
So, what's your takeaway for the den today, before you go back and fix those upside-down hinges?
My takeaway is this. Don't be afraid to be a student of the boring details. Whether you're auditing your Etsy prices or checking the moisture content of your filament, those tiny, unglamorous choices are what separate the makers from the people who just own a lot of expensive tools they're scared to use.
Well said. I'm going to go make sure my high-end retreat, which is currently a hammock between two questionable trees, is up to code.
Just don't ask me to pour the concrete. Stay gritty, stay creative, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.